was born upon the ocean, floating underneath the sun, carried by the currents where the endless waters run. I wear bubbles like a crown, gas-filled bladders keep me high, drinking sunlight from the surface, growing underneath the sky. I was once a quiet kingdom in the Sargasso Sea, a floating home for creatures, a nursery of the deep. More than 200 species found shelter in my arms. I was part of nature's balance. I was never meant for harm, but something changed. I felt the currents turning, I felt the waters change. Something pushed me eastward, something shifted out of range. And then I started spreading far beyond where I had been, across the Atlantic Ocean, a growing tide of living skin. I became a belt across the ocean, thousands of miles wide, a golden brown horizon stretching with the tide. From Africa toward the Americas, I followed rivers to the sea. And every year I gathered more than I was meant to be. I am the Great Atlantic Sargassum Belt. I didn't come here alone. Look at what you're feeding me, look at what you're pouring to the sea. Nitrogen and phosphorus flowing endlessly, synthetic fertilizer running from the land, industrial waste and sewage carried by the river's hands. The Amazon brings its burden, the Mississippi brings more. Everything you couldn't keep on land comes knocking at my door, and I grow. Oh, how I grow. You gave me all the nutrients, you gave me what I need, and now I'm covering the ocean like an endless living sheet. You call it an invasion, you call it an ecological threat, but I am only answering the world you've helped create. I am the paradox of enrichment. A little of me is shelter, a little of me is life, a floating nursery in the ocean, a refuge in the blue. But when there is too much of me, the balance disappears. What once supported living things can suffocate the seas. When I wash upon your beaches, I begin to break apart. I rot beneath a tropical sun, and something poisonous starts. Hydrogen sulfide rises from the mountains on the shore. The air becomes dangerous, the ocean breathes no more. I block the light from coral, I smother what is underneath. The oxygen begins to vanish as decay consumes the reef. Fish flee from dying water, small creatures lose their home, and beneath the surface darkness, dead zones start to grow. But don't blame me for the poison, don't blame me for the tide. Ask what was carried down the rivers, ask what was washed aside. Ask what happens to the fertilizer when the fields have had their fill. Ask where the industrial runoff goes, ask what the rivers carry still. Ask what happens to the sewage when the treatment systems fail. Ask what happens when the chemicals are carried in the rain. I am only an ocean mirror, I reflect what you release. I show you destroys the peace. I am the Great Atlantic Sargassum Belt, 9,000 kilometers of a warning from the sea, visible from space, but somehow still unseen. I am not simply seaweed, I am evidence, I am consequence. I am a living signal written across the ocean, and maybe I can still become something more than just a threat. Turn me into biofuel, turn me into compost. Find the elements hidden in me, find the value in what you've lost. Perhaps the answer isn't to destroy me where I lie. Perhaps the answer is to understand why I multiply. Because I was once a nursery, I was once part of the sea, and maybe I can still have a purpose if you change what you